So now that we went over triangles, let's go over quadrilaterals, which is on page 469. Read all the way to 474, and let's do problems 1, 8, 14, and 18. All right, so let's go over our problems under quadrilaterals. I told you to do problems 1, 8, 14, and 18. So let's look at number 1. Number 1 states in parallelogram yx or wx, yz, it gives you the sides. So let's go ahead and draw it out. It makes it easier for you to do the problem. So we got parallelogram. We have wx, y, and z. Okay. And it gives us that wx is 14. WZ is 6. ZY is 3x plus 5. And XY is 2y minus 4. Okay? Find x and y. So in a parallelogram, these are going to be congruent. Each side is going to be congruent. So knowing that, all we have to do to solve for x and y is set them equal to their sides, their corresponding sides. We have 3x plus 5 equals 14. So now we have an algebraic expression for that, so let's do one for the y. So you have 2y minus 4 equals 6. So let's solve, and we can solve for x and y. So 3x plus 5 equals 14. We need to get our whole numbers onto the right side. So to do that, we'll subtract 5 from either side. That cancels out, and this equals 9. So you're left with 3x equals 9. To solve for x, you want to divide both sides by 3. And you're left with x equals 9 divided by 3, which is 3. So we've got our x value. Let's solve for our y. 2y minus 4 equals 6. So to get 4 onto the right side, you've got to add 4 to both sides. This cancels out. 6 plus 4 is 10. So you're left with 2y equals 10. To isolate y by itself, you have to divide both sides by 2, leaving you with y equals 5. So our answer would be x is 3 and y is 5. So if we look at our answer selection, we have A, which is 3 and 5. Pretty simple. Just know that each side of the parallelogram are congruent to each other, and so you can set them up, and that's how you solve for x and y. Okay, so let's move on to number 8, and let's draw our figure and figure out our problem. In this one, we have a rectangle. Okay, and the rectangle has diagonals. Okay. C, D, and E. Okay, so the problem says find x, and we have this labeled as x. So find x in rectangle BCDE if the diagonal EC is 17 millimeters. So it's saying that this diagonal here is 17 millimeters. The main thing about diagonals in a rectangle is that they're going to be congruent to each other. Also, when they intersect, it makes a perpendicular line. So all you have to do is, knowing that information and they're equal to each other, all you have to do is take 17 and divide it in half, because all they're asking is for half of the diagonal. So you take 17 and divide it by 2. So let's work it out. So you have 8 times 2, which is 16. Add your decimal. So you've got 8.5. So the measure of x would be 8.5. Pretty simple. So let's move on to number 14 and see if we can figure this one out. It has a couple of more steps in this one. 14 states the area of a square x, y, z, w. So let's draw it. X, y, z, and w. Okay, so that's saying that the area of the square is area, which equals 196 centimeters squared. Now let's reference our formula sheet, which is on page 896 again, so that you can know what the area of a square would equal. Area of a square is sides squared, since all sides are equal. So basically, all you have to do is put in your 196. If you do the square root of 196, backtrack to find out the length of each side, you're going to get 14. So 196 square root is 14. So that's another good one to put on your sheet to remember, since you can't use your calculator in this section. So knowing that each side is 14 centimeters, they want you to find the perimeter. The perimeter, again, is just the sum of all the sides. So you would do 14 times 4, since there's 4 sides, and you would get 56 centimeters. So your perimeter would be 56 centimeters. So sometimes they give you like your area and they want you to find perimeter, but knowing your formulas and plugging them in, you can easily find what they're asking for. So let's move on to our last problem, which is 18, which also deals with perimeter. So that way you'll know exactly how to do a perimeter problem. Okay. So 18 says figure ABCD, and it looks like this. And it goes A, B, C, and D. And it gives us our sides, which is 5 centimeters, 10 centimeters, 6 centimeters. And it says it's an isosceles trapezoid. Isosceles means you have 2 sides that are equal. So that means that this side is 6 centimeters and this one would also be 6 centimeters. So go ahead and draw it in. Okay? Finding the perimeter is just the sum of all of the sides. So let's add them up. 5 plus 6 plus 6 plus 10, which equals 27 centimeters. So there's your answer. Perimeter is 27 centimeters, just the addition of all the sides. Okay, now that we've done with our quadrilaterals, let's move on.